What's good, everybody? This is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with a Hunters Guild Red Hood Chapter 12 review. And man, Red Hood is like this is getting into some dope stuff. So, we continue on with the training or with the exam. Now, this is 1 hour since the start of the exam, and Debonair is just doing her thing. She's like, "Hey, get back here! Dead end for you, bad for you," and she's about to lay the cuffs down. But then they're just all like, "Okay, go ahead, let's go ahead and nab the cups." And she's like, "Oh, this again." And then she starts to realize, "Oh, okay, this is what they're doing. They are putting me in this position to where like I can't go all out and I'm on the defense." And they basically got it to where she couldn't really, because of her size and different things like that, if she didn't want to hurt as far as the students, because that's not what she's trying to do. You could tell like how she is. She's really kind. She's just swole as fuck. But so it's interesting that that's going on. At the same time, Baloo and a couple other people are still trying to get people on their side. Now, right now, we already have 20 people on our side with more joining up. And, then we get to the fact Valu's just all like, really our big issue is going to be red. And he lets them know there's really no risk-free strategy. That's part of why I focused our numbers on Debonair. Now this is where things get like really, really interesting, because the breakdown of what's basically going on as far as with Grim. She's just not red, Grim. Falu's just like, Grim has no empathy. Unlike Debonair, whose goal is to test us, Grim will only focus on arresting us. Like, so that was interesting. Now, as they're in this predicament, Valu and the other girl, which I am going to do a breakdown of everybody who we've currently been introduced to, because that's going to help me as far as being able to name drop and different things like that. And once I see it a few times, I'll, be better at name dropping. But it's the little boy, it's Valu, and then, the younger girl, which reminds me of like her size and everything, Charmy from Black Clover. So we get as far as what's his face? We get Bonkers, who's just all like, "Don't worry, leave Grim this part to me." And he takes Valu, and he's like, "You two pull back and join up with the Debonair squad." And then Valu is just all like, "I thought this might happen," and Grim's just all like, "You don't want to pass, do you?" And then we start to get this, couple of things. We start to get like his birth name, Big Joe Bonkers, birth name, Kilikin Bonkers, born into a well-known, wealthy family. And she's like, "You're 23? He's just all like, "Yeah." And then the old girl was just all like, "Hey, he's younger than me," or whatever, or something like that. But then we start, Grim's just all like, "This is the background check the guild did on you. Participated in 5 consecutive hunter caps, making it to the final exam in 4 of them, but each time you failed at the last minute." And she's like, "You're failing on purpose." And then we get as far as a backstory of Bonkers, and he is in this. We get a flashback of him being 13, and literally he is in wealthy attire and everything like that. It's so crazy to see him at 13, seeing like his massive size, but he talks about how his hometown happened to be on the path of a giant, but thanks to the efforts of some hunters, the giant was driven back, and all over the town was saved. The hunters were really cool. They were heroes. I wanted to be one myself, you know, and so his family was taking, you know, refugees hostage and different things like that. And then he found out that some of these people weren't victims. They would go around and they would loot, you know, as far as these people that, you know, helped them, and they would take advantage of them and sometimes like killing them, you know. And so Bonkers sees that, and he, you know, tries to like stop, and then, you know, a fire happens, and so he gets like, the person is like on fire and different things like that, and they jump out the window, and they basically, one of them had flipped the script that was just all like, it was him that pushed him out the window and now he's killing me. And so basically after that, he basically dipped out. He was just all like, yo, you know, I'm gonna dip out. And he basically went on a path of just, you know, doing what he can to survive. And when he became like when he, you know, came to camp, he was just like, if I could take the training and just fail at the end, that's half a year of free room and board. The debt collectors won't chase me this far. And, you know, if I manage to survive the day, that's enough for me. I don't got any fancy dreams or big plans for the future. I'm just a random, useless shrub, you know? And so he basically goes on this whole kind of like pity party, and, you know, Valu's just all like, you know, that's not true. You're not a jerk. You know, he starts crying and different things like that. And, you know, Valu sees that, you know, his potential, you know, and then we get like, it ends with basically this cool little Tiva like Valu or Bonkers, and it's just like, it reminds me of, man, there was a book, I want to say it was called what, Freak the Mighty or something like that, but you always get like this smaller, who's like the brains of the operation, this bigger dude, Ratchet and Clank, you know, this Groot and Rocket, you know, just like these two that complement each other and things like that. And I kind of see that coming into fruition, you know. But Valu says, start on a new page, and this time let your actions make you the hero. Boom. And that's the end of chapter 12. So, man, you know, this is becoming a really interesting thing, because I like being able to see the backstories of people, and I want to see, like, you know, where everything ends up, you know, being taken. Now, the interesting thing is they talked about giants. We've got werewolves, you know, we've got witches, you know, and now we're introduced as far as to giants. So this is just showing like a whole wide spectrum of potential for this story, you know, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it. So let me know what y'all think in the comments. You know, this is turning into some really cool stuff. The Hunters Guild Red Hood chapter 12. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button if you want to see more reviews. And make sure to check out my manga, Most Random Manga Ever. You know, 11 issues available in volume 1, and 8 issues you can read for free on my website. All that will be in the description, and also my new single, Invincible Summer. You know, you can add that to your streaming playlist in the description. But other than that, this is Mr. Composition, the MC that writes fiction. Peace. Thoughts in the deep science, got the sun in my pocket, build your resilience. So when the next winter cycle comes, I prepare with no losses. The work of the solo, it's a bar.